My cousin accused me of stealing our grandfather's war medals when I was 14, and I just found out the truth at his funeral. When I was 14, my grandfather's Purple Heart and Bronze Star disappeared from his display case. 3 hours later, my cousin Derek told everyone at Sunday dinner that he saw me putting something in my backpack in Grandpa's study. Derek was 16, an honor student, the family golden child. I was the weird kid who wore too much black and got C's. Everyone believed him immediately. My parents searched my room that night while I stood in the hallway. They didn't find anything because I didn't take them, but it didn't matter. Just because we didn't find them doesn't mean you're innocent, my dad said. My stomach dropped. I tried explaining I'd been in the kitchen the whole time, but my aunt cut me off. Derek wouldn't lie. He's not that kind of boy. For 12 years, I've been the family thief. Graduations, weddings, holidays, every single gathering, someone brings it up. Remember when she stole Grandpa's medals? They'd whisper. Cousins moved their purses when I walked by. Uncles counted their wallets after I left rooms. I stopped going to family events 5 years ago because watching them clutch their belongings when I entered made me want to disappear. Last week, Grandpa died at 91. I almost didn't go to the funeral. My mom called and said, "It would mean a lot to him. He always believed you." That was a lie. Grandpa had looked at me differently after the medals disappeared, but I went anyway because, despite everything, I loved him. The funeral was tomorrow, but today the family gathered at Grandpa's house to sort through his things. I stayed in the kitchen while everyone else went through rooms. I heard Derek's voice getting louder in Grandpa's study. "We should check the attic. He kept a lot up there," my aunt agreed. "You're so thoughtful, Derek. Always thinking of others." I felt sick. 12 years and he was still the perfect one. I was standing by the sink when my uncle came down from the attic holding a cardboard box. Found Grandpa's old security camera stuff. Didn't even know he had this. My cousin Jen laughed. Grandpa was paranoid about break-ins. He had cameras everywhere in the early 2000s. Something clicked in my brain. 2011 was early 2000s. Did they record? I asked. My throat felt tight. My uncle shrugged. Maybe. These old mini DV tapes. Probably blank. I grabbed the box before I could think. 8 tapes, all labeled with dates. June 2011, July 2011, August 2011. The medals disappeared August 14th, 2011. My hands shook as I pulled out the August tape. "What are you doing?" Derek's voice behind me. Sharp. "Those are private." "If they're private, why do you care?" I plugged Grandpa's old camera into his TV. The tape was grainy, black and white, timestamp in the corner. I fast-forwarded. August 13th, 10:47 p.m. August 14th, 6:23 a.m. Then, August 14th, 2:14 p.m. Derek walked into frame in Grandpa's study, clear as day. He looked around, opened the display case, and pulled out both medals. He held them up to the light, examining them. Then he put them in his pocket and walked out. Timestamp 2:17 p.m. 3 hours later, at 5:23 p.m., me walking into the study in the same camera angle, getting a book from the shelf, walking out. That's it. That's all I did. The entire family had crowded into the living room. Everyone was staring at the TV. Derek's face went gray. That's not. I was just. His voice cracked. "You were just what?" My aunt's voice was ice. "Just framing your cousin? I needed money!" Derek screamed. "I had gambling debts. I sold them to a pawn shop for $3,000. I was going to pay it back." My dad turned to him slowly. "You let us think our daughter was a thief for 12 years over $3,000? The silence in that room was crushing. My cousin Jen started crying. My mom's hand was over her mouth. Derek tried to speak again. "I was going to confess. When?" I asked. My legs barely worked. "When were you going to confess? At my wedding when people moved their purses? At Christmas when uncles checked their wallets?" He opened his mouth. Nothing came out. I ejected the tape and held it up. "This is mine now." Derek was uninvited from the funeral. Half the family isn't speaking to him. My parents apologized 47 times in 3 days. They offered to pay for therapy, make announcements, anything. But you can't give someone back 12 years of being called a thief. You can't undo a decade of watching your own family treat you like you're poison. At the funeral, my aunt gave the eulogy and mentioned Grandpa's strong moral compass. I thought about how his security camera saved me 12 years too late.